Hello there, you're now with me, Handy Gui, and this is TVS News at 5. Let's dive into today's topics. Based on the thresholds as set out under the National Recovery Plan, NRP, the Sarawak government has agreed to move from Phase 1 to Phase 2 of the plan. Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC Chairman Dr. Amar Douglas Ugah Mbas said a detailed assessment of the effects of the Movement Control Order had been made by taking into consideration the views of various parties and the hardship faced by the people during this pandemic.
Sehubung dengan itu, Kerajaan Sarawak bersetuju untuk melaksanakan parlian fasa Pelan Pemulihan Negara mengikut pencapaian nilai ambang indikator yang telah ditetapkan dan tidak lagi menggunakan kaedah yang sebelum ini, iaitu mempunyai tarikh.
The NRP is seen as an exit strategy from the COVID-19 pandemic. Ugah pointed out that it gives a clear direction to enable the government to bring Sarawak out of the present health crisis.
Plan ini merupakan satu panduan yang dirangka berdasarkan data dan sains, merangkumi 4 fasa. Pilihan fasa dari satu fasa ke satu fasa bergantung kepada pencapaian nilai ambang ataupun threshold 3 indikator utama. Yang pertama adalah keadaan penularan COVID-19 dalam komuniti berdasarkan bilangan kes jangkitan mingguan. Kedua, kadar penggunaan katil di ward ICU. Dan ketiga, peratusan populasi Sarawak yang telah lengkap menerima 2 dos suntik vaccination.
Additionally, Ugah said SDMC is in the midst of reviewing these thresholds to enable Sarawak to move into the next phase. Commenting further, he said the reviews will be done based on divisions and districts. The results of the review will be announced in the near future. Now, on another development, Sarawakians are urged to play their part in preventing the transmission of Delta variant in the state. Ugah stressed that the new variant poses a new challenge to the state, especially the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee.
Kita telah menggunakan compulsory quarantine untuk semua yang masuk ke Sarawak. Compulsory quarantine for 14 days. Dan kita telah pun membuat memberitahu bahawa kita setakat ini tidak membenarkan masyarakat yang dari Labuan datang ke Sarawak. Dia perlu memohon kebenaran dari kerajaan negeri.
Ugah added security personnel at the borders had been reinforced to ensure that the Delta variant does not spread further.
This is another source of possible entry of all the other variant. Jadi kita ada dari laut, ada dari utara, ada juga dari darat. So we are trying very best to see how we can control the variants. But most important, orang rakyat Sarawak sendiri mesti terus ikut our PKP, amalkan tabiat yang sihat, social distancing, avoid gathering.
Meanwhile, regarding the vaccination drive in the state, Sarawak had already achieved a quota of 77,343 on Thursday, which comprises of 29,206 first doses and 48,137 second doses. Overall, out of the 2.2 million population in Sarawak that are eligible to receive the vaccines, 63.65% have already received their first doses and 61.32% already received their second doses. Ugah was also confident that Sarawak would be able to vaccinate 80% of the people in the state by August. He noted that there were no issues when it came to people receiving their shots. Now, Agrobank Sarawak is scheduled to begin its mobile banking services on July 12, covering Padawan and Tebedu. in an effort to provide a more comprehensive access to banking services for the rural communities in the state. Meanwhile, RHB Bank will also be rolling out its mobile banking services for Asajaya and Sarong districts on the same day.
According to RHB Bank Sarawak Regional Director Muhammad Tony Ong Abdullah, the mobile bank would cover the two areas on specific days. The operating hours will be conducted in 2 shifts. Meanwhile, the operating hours for Agrobank will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the compounds of the Padawan Sub-District Office from July 12th to July 16th. In regards to the available services provided, Agrobank Sarawak said it would include automated teller machine ATM services, account opening, debit card application, and Takaful Kasih Plus product promotions. The public are reminded to observe the standard operating procedure SOP and always practice physical distancing when using the facilities provided by the mobile banks.
Jangan lupa saksikan hasil-hasil setiap Sabtu 1.45 petang hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro and My Preview.
Under the great blue sky over Hornbill's land grows Sarawak's treasure, pepper. Its reputation precedes itself and is used by millions all over the world. However, very few understand the challenges faced by pepper farmers. Episode 3: Adversity.
Ayah, su artinya. Nevin. Nevin.
Sik pula alik yang tak jadi buat ya.
Oh, ada gas.
Yang penting gas ya.
Oh, yang penting gas.
Macak gas ya.
Cik, ambil lah. Aku mau viral ni.
Apa kau mau viral?
Siap pernah masuk di Sipeng.
Apa makan di Peng?
Ai, show kan TVS ya. Setiap Isnin sampai Ahad. 2 suku petang.
Kalau kan 122.
Tahu pun. Siapa pun tanya aku.
Rocking your weekend with a wide selection of music videos. From your favorite local artists to the fiercely indie, we've got you covered. Weekend Vibes new season every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. only on TVS Channel 122.
Hello there and welcome back. Now, over 3 million or 10% of the Malaysian population have completed 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccination as of July 9th. According to the National COVID-19 Immunization Program Coordinating Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, this meant that Malaysia has met the first national threshold for the transition from Phase 1 of the Movement Control Order under the National Recovery Plan.
We have given 30% of our adult population at least 1 dose and 13.6% of our adult population above 18 the full 2 doses. Total population that has received 2 doses is 10%. So we've met the first national threshold for the Phase 1 of the recovery program already. Next. So this was the ramp up over the last week. We managed to, I announced at the beginning of this month, we wanted to do 300,000 on average in the month of July. Over the last 3 days, we did 1 million doses.
Referring to the smaller number of doses administered a few months ago, Khairi, who is also the Science, Technology and Innovation Minister, said it was caused by low vaccine supply as well as global inequality in vaccine distribution. Kyrie noted that as of July 4th, Malaysia had received 12.6 million doses of AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Sinovac vaccines from a total of 67 million doses procured.
We are waiting for another 54. So this is to indicate to the Pharmacy Society that it's actually an issue of supply, not capacity. Once we get our capacity supply, we are operating at a utilization ratio of 90% right now.
Referencing data reported in other countries, including Germany, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Singapore, Kyrie said the number of new cases and deaths is expected to start declining upon reaching 30 to 40 people per 100 people that are fully vaccinated, or 30 to 40% of the population fully vaccinated. He added by the end of August, Malaysia should achieve full vaccination for 30 to 40% of the population, and a decline in death rate is expected to be observed based on world data. Right, thunderstorms, heavy rain and strong winds are expected to hit the coastal areas of several northern states in peninsular Malaysia until July 12. Met Malaysia, in a statement released late last night, said several states will be affected. The public are advised to be on the lookout as these situations have the potential to cause flash floods, especially in low-lying areas, and damages to frail structures. Meanwhile, strong southwesterly winds of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour and waves of up to 4.5 meters high are expected to occur at the waters of northern Malacca Straits during that period. And this phenomenon can pose a risk of an overflow of seawater on the coast and estuaries. Now, it is still too early to decide on whether the third dose of vaccine is necessary. This was recently stated by the European Medicine Agency, who further said that the current dosage was sufficient.
Previously, Pfizer Biotech requested approval from the FDA and the EMA to allow a third dose to be administered. Due to the evolution of a new COVID-19 variant, namely Delta and Lambda, the risk of infection is now greater, even though the two-dose vaccination regimes have been completed. Michael Dolston, a scientist from Pfizer, stated that the recent spike of cases in Israel had shown a decreased efficacy rate as many were infected after being fully vaccinated. According to the data from the U.S. Health Ministry, the vaccines have shown a decrease in efficacy of about 64% and greater for middle-aged adults. Even so, the vaccines are still effective up to 95% against hospitalization as they prevent severe symptoms due to the infections.
Now wrapping up the 5 p.m. news, following the assassination of Haiti President Jovenel Moïse, an interim leader has been appointed to immediately form a new government. Joseph Lambert, who was the Haitian Senate head, was appointed yesterday, and the resolution was also supported by several opposition parties and organizations.
Haiti Senate, which currently consists of only a third of its members, said Lambert would take a constitutional oath in the parliament and would be installed in his functions immediately. At the same time, several political parties in Haiti have signed a memorandum to appoint a new head of national unity, Ariel Henry, who was appointed as prime minister 2 days before Moïse's demise. As for the aforementioned post, Claude Joseph will serve as the interim because Henry did not have time to form a new government. Joseph, on the other hand, is counting on the support of the international community until the next presidential and legislative elections are held on 26 September. Meanwhile, Haitian police have arrested a total of 18 Colombians and 2 Americans of Haitian descent suspected of participating in Moïse's assassination. Earlier reports stated that a group of 26 Colombians and 2 Americans shot President Moïse in his home on Wednesday.
And that concludes the 5 p.m. English news on TVS. As usual, don't forget to tune in for the Nightline at 11:30 p.m. with Cheryl Shaminato. With that, I'm Henny Gui, and have a pleasant day.